when he's not here. We read our scriptures today. Luke addresses a couple of happenings on the Sabbath. The first one he brings us is it happened on the second Sabbath, after the first, that he went through the grain fields. Now, I love Luke. Luke was a physician. Luke is a doctor. And Matthew, Mark, Luke, John are the four Gospels. They tell the events and the happenings occurring in and around Jesus' group and what he did in his ministry. Matthew, Mark, and Luke are the synoptic Gospels, which just mean that they tell a lot of the same stories. John is different in his approach. But one of the amazing things about Luke, the physician, I believe because of his occupation, he was used to paying attention to certain details that even Matthew and Mark would not put in. They left some of them out. And Luke was just very thorough in his writing. And so I just love it. It just brings me joy to see sometimes how he writes. Now it happened on the second Sabbath, after the first, that he went through the grain fields. He could have just told us on one Sabbath he went through the grain fields, but he spells it out for us. And his disciples began to pluck the heads of grain and ate them, rubbing them in their hands. And the Pharisees started getting upset. Why are you doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath? You see, it was a law. It was a religious law. It was part of their practice that you did not work on the Sabbath or put forth any effort on the Sabbath, and you wouldn't pick anything to eat on the Sabbath. But Jesus said to them, he said, have you not read this? I got to pause for a second, just say how much I love it. Because the Pharisees prided themselves on their religious practice. They prided themselves on their tedious attention to the law. And Jesus just kind of throws in a barb. I love it. He's God manifest in flesh, but every now and then you see a little bit of the flesh come through, and he just kind of puts it to them a little bit. And he says, well, have you not? Did you not read your Bible? I mean, these guys are like upset about these. These Pharisees are so proud of what they do and how they practice religion and how much they know. And Jesus was like, you never read how David and his men were tired and they were weary and they had nothing to eat, and they went into the house of God and they took and ate the showbread which was given to them. And they ate it even though it was lawful only for the priest to do it. But the priest said, I see that you're tired and you're weary and you're hungry and you have no strength left. Take it and eat it, because this priest understood that sometimes you got to take care of people even though it's not your normal practice. And Jesus said, let me just set you straight here today. I'm going to practice that. And I'm going to take my lead from David and the priest who fed the men who were hungry. And he said, just so you understand, I, the Son of Man, am Lord of the Sabbath. In other words, he said, it doesn't matter what the calendar says. If somebody has a need, I'm going to meet the need, because that's who I am. I am Lord of the Sabbath. Your calendar may say this, your law may say this, but hear me when I tell you, when Jesus is present, people come first. That's number one. Everybody say number one. If you're taking notes and you're writing down points today, put number one, and here it is. When Jesus is present, people come first. That's why it's one of our 5 core values here at the church, and it's number one on our list. People come first. Because today we want everybody to know that even though we have programs, and we do, and we have all sorts of policy, and we do, and you need all of that, but all of our programs and policy is not intended to be an end. It is intended to be a means to lead people to Jesus, to bring more people to him. And so at this church, people come first.